Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 23 of the Computer Business Marketing Show. Today's episode is brought to you by TechSite Builder. TechSite Builder is a hosted website builder that allows you to quickly and easily get a clean and professional website up and running for your computer or tech-focused business. Save time and frustration with TechSite Builder. Learn more at techsitebuilder.com. All right, guys, today I am not here. I'm actually on vacation. I'm going to be gone for 3 weeks. So what we're going to do during this time is we're going to kind of do a best of, where we're going to go back in the archives of the original Computer Business podcast and pull out some of the most popular marketing related episodes that we did. And what I'm going to do is we're just going to share the interview portion of those episodes. So you're just going to get the really good stuff. Very focused, very informative, based around a marketing topic. So today our topic is going to be about how to effectively market your IT business. In this episode, we have a double featured guest. It's going to be Nate Teplow and Joe Trevano of Continuum's MSP Radio podcast. And we chatted about the best practices in marketing your IT services business and how you can get the most bang for your marketing buck. These two guys really know what they're talking about, and we talk about a lot of great strategies. So stick around for that, coming up right now. All right, welcome to the featured topic for today's podcast. Today, I'm excited to have two people on the show, and this is a little different for us. We've never interviewed two people at the same time, so this is going to be real exciting. We're going to get double the value from this interview. Today, I have Nate Teplow and Joe Trevano. They're both hosts of the MSP Radio podcast and also members of the marketing team at Continuum. Welcome, guys, to the Computer Business Podcast. How you doing?
We're doing good. Thanks for having us on the show, and hopefully we're not too much of a handful being two of us here.
Yeah, the expectations are high. I hope we deliver on twice the value.
I'm sure you will, and then some. These guys host the MSP Radio show, and they work with Continuum. And Continuum, if you guys can just give us a brief overview of what Continuum is and what you guys do over there.
Sure. So Continuum is a managed IT services platform. We have a number of different solutions for managed IT service providers, RMM tool, backup disaster recovery tool. We have a help desk that your clients can call to get support handled. So number of different pieces of our puzzle, but more or less we're a platform to enable managed IT service providers to provide the services they do to their end clients.
We're the only channel exclusive, fully managed IT services provider.
Exactly.
Excellent. Yeah. And I'm sure, if folks have been to some conferences in the industry or, have been searching for these types of solutions, they're familiar with what you guys do over there at Continuum. And just really quick, what are your guys' background? I know you're on the marketing team, and I guess if you can just give us a quick overview of how you came, to be at on the Continuum team and where you came from before that.
Yeah, so I've been at Continuum. This is Nate. I've been at Continuum for just over 2 years at this point. And I've been on the marketing team the whole time since then. I've transitioned to a number of different roles kind of within the marketing team, but more or less I've been managing a number of our marketing programs. So the different kinds of, campaigns we're running, whether those are email campaigns or web campaigns or, partner success and enablement campaigns. So making sure our partners are successful with our platform is a big focus for me. Previously, I was at another tech company, again, on the marketing and kind of sales side for them. So, I've been doing marketing for, the better part of the past 4 or 5 years, and, like to think I know what I'm talking about when it comes to some basic marketing stuff.
He does. I am a senior copywriter. I have been writing on marketing teams for over 12 years now, and have worked in a number of different industries. I've been with Continuum for a little bit over, about a year. I was going to say a little bit over, it feels like about a year, and have been creating a number of different pieces of content, everything from ebooks to web pages to email to other sales and partner enablement kits. Just about anything you can think of, I've written it. So, and blog as well. Yeah, off the top of my head. So, if it's written, there's a good chance I may have written.
Excellent. Great. So that's a great background to tackle what we're going to talk about today. And really what we want to talk about is, we're starting a new year, and it's always a good idea when you're kicking off the year to kind of relook at some different aspects of your business, and marketing being one of those. It's a good time to put together a marketing plan for the year. And I know, a lot of the listeners of the Computer Business Podcast are in various stages and various sizes. So we have, computer repair shops that are just one guy working from his home office. We have, storefronts who have a few techs working for them, and we have some of the smaller MSPs who might have a handful of employees working for them as well. But most of our listeners don't, have the budget to have a marketing department or even just a marketing person. A lot of times they're just trying to learn as much as they can about good marketing practices and throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. And so instead of, just kind of guessing at it, it's good to maybe put together some sort of plan for the year. So first of all, I just kind of wanted to get your guys' idea on how computer business owners should go about putting together a marketing plan and what they should be thinking about when they go to put together the plan for the year.
I think the biggest thing is the word plan, is having a plan. It's not just something you do every once in a while and as, one-off things. And I know it's very easy for, outsource IT guys, whether you're a one-man shop or even, a 10 to 15-man shop, to spend time marketing. It usually falls on the back burner because you're dealing with client issues or things come up, or, it's very easy to push marketing aside. But I think the biggest downfall to marketing is not sticking with it enough and not doing it regularly, whether that's optimizing your website or publishing a blog post or working on an email campaign to your database. You should always be doing some sort of marketing. And obviously it depends on the size and how many marketing team members you have. I've seen some of our partners, they pick a day of the week to focus on marketing. So Wednesday is their marketing day. Wednesday is when they're either drafting emails or working on fixing their website or optimizing some forms or whatever it might be. So whether it's you pick a day of the week or, dedicate an hour each day to do marketing, or maybe it's hire an intern, maybe it's hire somebody part-time that can help out with managing your social media accounts or something, smaller like that. Making sure that you stick with it, I think is a very important piece of marketing, because when you're not consistent with it, that's when marketing really fails. Yeah, I like the idea of making time for marketing and actually building it into your schedule for the day or the week or the month. Because a lot of people say, I need to put together a marketing plan, or I need to do some marketing efforts in my business, but then life just takes over, or the fires start piling up, and you eventually just start putting it off. And I feel like, some of these crucial aspects of your business, it's best to get in your calendar and actually physically make a calendar appointment for you and whoever else you want to work with to sit down and work on marketing, either whether it's putting together a plan or actually implementing the plan. That's a great thing to consider. Yeah.
So
go ahead.
No, please.
I was just going to say, don't overthink it either. It doesn't have to be complicated. I think people get very caught up in being very verbose or official, or I have to do marketing, whatever that means.
Right.
Yeah. But it's really, it's nothing more than staying in touch with people and giving them information that you think that they would find valuable. Don't overthink it. Don't feel like you need to make a big giant email campaign with pictures and letters and calls to action or whatever. Just stay in front of people, stay in touch with them. And that's what I think marketing is. It's about being in touch with people and finding things that resonate, rather than big giant campaigns that are hard to conceptualize.
Yeah, I always feel like marketing is too big of a word, and people can get very intimidated by saying, I need to do my marketing now. Really what it is a lot of small brackets they have to hit, regularly. Keep it up, keep it going, keep the ball rolling, hit the emails, get in front of people, keep your website up to date. Things like that, just small increments will eventually lead up to a much larger marketing strategy that they're keeping up and keep moving forward.
Yeah, I like that. You got to start somewhere, and it can be, just small steps in certain things to get started. And you're right, marketing can seem overwhelming because there's so many different things you can try and so many different ways you can go with it. It's always good to just focus on one thing first. So what are some of those kind of lower hanging fruit items that people can look to improve their marketing? I know you mentioned websites and you mentioned email campaigns. Are there anything else that folks should be looking for when they're putting together their marketing plan, as kind of, these are some of the easier things to implement that we can get rolling right now, so that we can kind of at least get the ball rolling on marketing for the year?
I think content's a big thing. If you're not producing content regularly, then that's something you really need to step up this year. It's how you get found online. People search for content and for answers to their questions. And if you don't have the content available to answer those questions, you're not going to get found online. It also makes you look like a leader and a thought leader. Somebody people would trust when it comes to their IT systems and the success of their business. If they don't see that you're an expert in what you do and are publishing things online and putting your stake in the ground on, this is how to do things, this is how to answer, this is how I provide the answers to your questions, they're not going to trust you with their business. So there's kind of a twofold effect there. So there's a number of ways you can publish content. That could be a blog post. Maybe you just commit to a weekly blog post. And, it's hard to find time for, to write blogs, but there's really easy ways to get content out there. Even like a podcast, it's really easy to do like a 5-minute podcast once a week. Just speak 5 minutes. If there's a question you're getting regularly from your clients or prospects or whatever, start answering that question in a podcast, a weekly series. And then what you can do is transcribe that, post it as a blog post. You can share that on social. You can email that out to your database. And that's content you can use and leverage in many different ways. And it really only takes you 5 to 10 minutes a week to generate that. If you just use it as, record your thoughts on it and then transcribe it and publish it. There's ways to get lots of legs out of the content you produce. And obviously writing, 5 blog posts a week isn't feasible for an MSP, especially if you only have 1 or 2 marketing people. But there's ways to get more legs out of your content, and it's important to think about ways to spread that content, that thought leadership, and your knowledge, across your website and your different kind of marketing channels. Yeah,
definitely. And I think people get very intimidated when they sit down. Not everyone's the most verbose writer in the world. Not everyone, wants to be either. You don't need to worry about word count. You don't need to worry about, if you're doing a podcast, length of the podcast. Sometimes 2 minutes is great. Sometimes 1 minute is great if you can really get your thoughts out there. For a blog, you don't need to do a novel. You don't need to hit 1,000 words or anything like that. 300 words is a great length to hit those SEO targets and make sure that your thoughts are getting out there. So, you're doing that. That's really not that hard to do.
Yeah, and videos are another great way to do that as well. Any mobile device now has a decent enough camera on it that you can actually just have somebody record you, sit down in front of your desk or something, and provide your top 5 highlights in tech news for the week or something, and do that once a week. That's takes you maybe 10-15 minutes to aggregate some of those sources, and that's something you should hopefully be keeping an eye on throughout the week, just for the success of your business is, industry news. So, put some highlights together and have somebody just sit there and record you. And you can publish that in a blog post. You can host the video on YouTube or some other different video hosting applications and publish that as a blog post. Share it on social. Again, email it out to your database. That's another good way to continuously publish content.
Yeah, I love the idea of repurposing content in different mediums. So, you can pick the medium that you're most comfortable in. Are you more comfortable talking? Then you can have a podcast. If you're more comfortable in front of a camera, then you can record a video. If you're more of a writer, then you can write the blog post. You choose the medium you're most comfortable in, create your content there, and then you can repurpose it into a video. I know some folks who put together videos where it's not talking, it's just kind of like a slide deck almost, and they put exciting music behind it or something like that, and that can be effective because there are people, your potential clients who might be spending a lot of their time on YouTube, looking up information on their particular sector or their business or some problems they're having with their IT situation at work, and they're in YouTube and they're looking up how-to videos or whatever, and there your video pops up. Someone who provides services around the problem they're having, they would have never found you if you wouldn't have put that video on YouTube. So I like the idea of creating the content once and then repurposing it through different mediums. Yeah,
I mean, it's important to remember that YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. So being able to have a presence there and have a great video, and even if it's a small video that just explains a concept of some sort, it can be immensely helpful for having people find your business.
So now it's, another thing that might kind of hold people back from implementing this type of marketing plan is the time it takes to record a video, transcribe it to a blog post, and then, copy it out and send it out on social media. Is there any tools you recommend or know of that can automate this process or make it a little bit easier to take some of the tedious work burden off of the business owner?
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of different tools for all of those different, channels that you mentioned. I mean, off the top of my head, when it comes to email marketing, Constant Contact's very good for small businesses. MailChimp is also a very good email marketing platform. You can do some cool things in terms of making nice emails that look, professional, customized, and very easy to edit and manage your lists there. So I'd recommend checking out Constant Contact or MailChimp if you're looking for kind of an email marketing platform. If you want to go a step up, there's also kind of a marketing automation platform, which those tie in a few more components of marketing. They might feed in your social or more of the automation pieces of it. When it comes to social media, there are a number of tools that you can schedule tweets or add some automation in for those. I know the Buffer is one of them. Hootsuite is another one. Yeah, Buffer is really good. You can schedule things very easily through Buffer. Hootsuite's another one where you can link up all your social profiles and have things published across them. So those
I love Buffer. I'm a big fan of Buffer.
Yeah, I've used it too. It's very, very easy to use.
Yeah, definitely.
So where do you see, the marketing going in the future? I know it's in the past, it's been all about blogging and it's been all about just getting yourself out there, producing content. Is there any kind of new things you see that are starting to gain traction, that are producing results for folks as far as marketing for their businesses?
Well, the obvious one for us has been podcasting. It's something we've worked on, for about a year and a half now with our MSP radio show. And it's just another channel for us to reach our audience, whether that's partners or prospects. It's just content for them to consume. And that's pretty much all our MSP radio show is. It's just, useful content for MSPs and IT solution providers. And that's part of our strategy here at Continuum. So obviously content's big. We've talked about it in the past, and that's going to continue to be a core piece of your marketing strategy.
Yep.
If there's any trend, I think, and trying to verbalize it is tough, but I think just making it more authentic, and that's something that we've tried to do in our marketing here, is you don't have to be like salesy or tricky or try to, trick somebody into opening your email with a clever subject line like, hey, thought you might want to check this out, ... or anything like that. Like, just be authentic with your marketing and make it about connecting with your audience. And I know I said that earlier, but find ways that's going to resonate with them and be authentic in your marketing. I think people are expecting more of an authentic process when it comes to their marketing and sales journey with your company. And there's a lot more power on the buyer now in terms of, you think of things like, Yelp and, ways to leave reviews, whether that's on Amazon or whatever. The buyer has a much stronger voice these days in terms of, voicing back the things that they experience with your company. So treating your buyer, with respect and authenticity throughout the marketing and sales process, I think is important, and it's going to lead to better relationships, better, loyalty among your customer base. So think about factoring in that authenticity and that relationship building throughout the marketing and sales process. It's not tricking somebody into buying something. It's really about building a relationship.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the idea of being slick is really, that's dead. I mean, trying to almost get around the psychology of your buyer, that is not where marketing is going at all. trying to get that emotional response from people, getting them to connect with your content is where marketing, I think, is really, really going. And understanding who your audience is and catering to what they want to hear and catering to what will connect with them, at a very authentic level is absolutely where people should be trying to go.
Yeah, and with authenticity, I think that's really important because, when you can just think of it from your perspective. If you receive an email from some company saying ABC Corporation would like to let you know about the latest trends and whatever, how do you feel about that versus you get an email from a person who says, hey, I'm Nate and I just wanted to talk to you about some cool things I found recently that might, help you out in your business or that might apply to your IT area or something, and come at it as a real person as opposed to some nameless, faceless corporation that's just, churning out information that doesn't really apply to anything.
Exactly. You're going to get a much better response rate that way. We actually, I actually wrote a blog post about this and we discussed it on our radio show, but the blog post was titled How Not to Write a Sales Email. And this is, I received an email from some sales rep. They were, again, trying to sell me, some, I think it was sponsorship package or something. And we said, we're not interested. We don't have time to manage this right now. And their response back was just so generic. And it was like, we're very confident you will be thoroughly pleased with our solution that will benefit your business, or and it was very generic. And yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I took that email content and put it into a blog post, and I picked it apart, and it did pretty well on our blog. I think I got it was one of our top blog posts of last month. But after I wrote that blog post, I had 2 or 3 other sales reps reference that blog post and say, hey, we've been trying to contact you. I saw your blog post, and I'm going to do my best attempt to not write a bad email. And that was much more personal. But it's funny because you have that horrible first version that I actually posted as a blog post. I didn't respond to it. I posted it as a blog post just more for fun, and it was, I thought, good content for us. But then
anonymously too, right?
Anonymously. Yeah. I left their name out, didn't slander them. It was more just to make a point about the lack of quality. Yeah. But when it comes to the people who actually reached out to me and referenced the blog post, something I wrote and did and made it specific to me and my company, I replied to them and I set up calls with them. And maybe those opportunities didn't turn into revenue for them, but at least I did a demo with them and at least I set up a call. So going that extra mile and finding something personal that you can reference or add into your email campaign, I think is very important and is going to increase your response rate just dramatically.
Yeah, that's great. I love that authenticity, being yourself, and a lot of people who are first getting started or they're growing their business, they tend to want to make themselves sound like a corporation. They want to sound legitimate. They're afraid that people are going to just think they're some guy working out of their trunk, and they want to, make them sound bigger, like a legitimate big corporation. And so they write those kind of impersonal emails when really just being authentic, being yourself is something that transcends, the size of your business, the type of business. If you're a large shop or a smaller shop, keeping a person behind these messages, I think, is always a good idea.
Yeah, people, again, when it comes back to overthinking marketing, you don't need this big, corporate sounding campaign or whatever. Let's say you recently onboarded a new healthcare client and you help them become HIPAA compliant or something like that as an MSP. And then you can go and target some of your other healthcare companies in your area or in whatever vertical you're focused on. And you can say, hey, we recently just helped another healthcare company in the area become HIPAA compliant. Is this something you're interested in? That's as simple as the email has to be. And I think that's going to get you, I would say, at least a 3 times higher response rate than drafting a 5-paragraph email that's listing out all the data points and trying to cram in a ton of information in one email. I mean, the goal of an email is really to get a response. I mean, that's my opinion on it. Yeah, you just want to get a response. You don't have to make the sale in that one email. You don't have to, cram all the information, about you into one email. It's just about getting a response and starting a conversation. So keep that in mind when it comes to your different marketing activities, that it's about starting a conversation rather than that's your one opportunity to sell them on your entire business.
Yeah, in this day and age, email is just another messaging platform in this case. And people are much more used to, texting and direct messages and email, in a lot of ways, can be much shorter than people actually realize. They need to be, to the point, honest, and just get that response. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I love when Nate said that it's just a way to start a conversation, and I love having that be kind of the theme here. Is marketing is just a way to start a conversation with your potential clients or your existing clients. That's a great way to think of it, and so I think I'll end it there. I think that's a good way to tie it up all in a neat little bow there. Now, you guys, just want to circle back around to Continuum. I love providing my listeners some great resources. And you guys actually, besides the services that Continuum offers, you also have some great just resources and information for MSPs. Can you talk a little bit about what you have? I know you got the blog and the podcast and what else you have there.
Yeah, again, it's all part of our marketing strategy is providing that content for you. But if you go to continuum.net, we have an amazing resource center there. It's one of the main drop downs. You can find it on our navigation tab. But the MSP Resource Center, we have ebooks, we have webinar recordings, we have our podcast listed there, we have a number of blog posts. So there's a ton of good content for MSPs to take advantage of there. Obviously, if you're interested in scheduling a demo or a trial, whatever, you can do that on our website as well. But definitely check out the MSP Resource Center, continuum.net. You can find it there. Yep. And then blog.continuum.net is our blog. We host a lot of good content. We're publishing once or twice a day new blog content, all focused on MSPs and IT businesses. So a lot of good stuff there for you to take advantage of.
Yeah, definitely. And wide range of topics on the blog. Continuum.net, right under resources, you'll find everything you need there.
And the radio show, of course.
Yeah. Find us on iTunes.
Obviously, yeah, search for MSP Radio on iTunes. We publish weekly. We try to cover a lot of good topics for MSP. So we'd love to see you join and listen to our radio show as well.
iTunes and Stitcher.
Yep. Oh, great. Yeah. So we'll definitely have links to all of that stuff in the show notes of this episode, so folks can check that out. It's another great resource to add to the list of resources where you get information, you get motivation, you get new information, you get good ideas to grow your business, and that's a great resource. So, have any parting words, guys?
No, thank you for having us, obviously, and just to the listeners out there, don't get overwhelmed with marketing. Just get started. Stick to a regular cadence, whether that's a weekly email campaign or posting to your blog weekly, or maybe starting a little tidbit video or something. Just get started with it and be consistent with it, and don't get overwhelmed with the concept of marketing. It's not too difficult.
Yeah, really. Get started. Set a time. Do a little bit. Don't get intimidated, and enjoy it.
That's it. If you're in business and going through all these headaches, you might as well enjoy the ride,
exactly.
right?
Hopefully.
So, excellent, guys. I appreciate you being a guest on the show, and we'll talk to you later.
Yeah, thanks a bunch. It's been a blast.
Thank you.
All right, thanks again to Nate and Joe for that awesome interview. Hopefully, you guys are inspired to try some new marketing techniques or kind of improve your current marketing. And really, marketing is just a consistent thing that you got to just keep working on, keep honing, keep trying different things, finding what works for you and your potential customers, and then just kind of keep going with that. So thanks to those guys. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed that interview. Let's keep the conversation going. So head on over to computerbusinessmarketing.com and let us know what you think in the comments section below the show notes over there. Also, don't forget to join us in the Facebook group. Just search for Computer Business Marketing in Facebook and request access to the group. You just need to answer 2 easy questions, and I can't wait to see you over there. Also, if you listen to this podcast in iTunes or Stitcher, be sure to leave us a shout out and leave a review. We love to hear your feedback, and every comment that you leave helps the podcast be found by others. And finally, don't forget to check out our sponsor, Tech Site Builder. Thank you for checking out the Computer Business Marketing Show. This is Matthew Rodella saying, here's to your success.